Dentists at risk of asbestos exposure? Check out this episode of Asbestos Artifacts. If you worked certain jobs before the mid-1980s, you probably worked around asbestos. Construction, refineries, factories, mechanics, dentists? Yep. For much of the 20th century, a number of commonly used dental products contained asbestos, and one of them is today's asbestos artifact. This is a roll of casting ring liner containing asbestos, made by Kerr, a dental product company that makes a lot of dental products, some of which used to contain asbestos. What exactly is a casting ring liner? Well, in the beginning of the 20th century, dentists got better at making crowns and bridges and other artificial teeth to replace rotten or broken teeth by bonding to the remaining tooth. The casting technique used by dentists to make teeth is actually a 6,000-year-old manufacturing technique called lost wax casting. Also called investment casting, lost wax casting involves making a model out of the desired object out of wax. Then the wax object is used to make a mold by submerging it in plaster or another material that will harden around the wax. That's sometimes known as the investment material. Before submerging, a tube is attached to the model, allowing the melted wax to escape from the hardening mold. It also gives access to the material poured into the mold for the final object. Lost wax casting helps you make objects with irregular shapes, minor details, and thin walls or edges, kind of like teeth. No wonder the process has been used to fashion crowns for decades. Unfortunately, that process also involved asbestos for quite a few decades too. When a dentist creates a wax mold of the replacement tooth or crown, they dip the wax tooth in a cylinder which contains the plaster or other material that forms the mold. But the size and nature of material shifts as they heat and cool. Dentists include a lining around the cylinder so the hardened mold maintains its shape and is easier to remove. The lining has to resist temperatures of up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. This particular artifact is made of chrysotile asbestos, which can withstand temperatures in excess of 900 degrees. Lost wax casting first became popular with dentists making teeth in about 1907, and millions of crowns, bridges, and inlays were made using asbestos lining like today's artifact. These molds were temporary, and while it's conceivable someone getting a crown might be exposed to asbestos remnants from the mold, the real danger from this particular asbestos product was for dentists and dental technicians who regularly used these exact products. Fortunately, dental workers often wear masks while installing crowns and other tooth restoration, but preparing the material in molds does not always involve wearing masks, and that's when this artifact, the asbestos casting ring liners, get used. In fact, as recently as the past few years, large multi-million-dollar awards have been granted against this very company for dentists who used this product for decades without ever receiving a warning that it could cause mesothelioma, an aggressive and quickly lethal form of cancer caused almost exclusively by asbestos exposure. That said, asbestos was used in making the actual crowns themselves, particularly as a filling product to bind tooth material together while it was being baked at high temperatures. In the late 1960s, the National Bureau of Standards was recommending dentists consider using a filling mixture that included asbestos. In this case, the asbestos liners were used to make molds of cristobalite, a type of silica which also causes cancer. In fact, because of the cristobalite and other silica materials used and ground up in dentistry, some older and retired dentists didn't only face a risk of asbestosis and asbestos diseases, but also silicosis and silica diseases. Nowadays, Kerr doesn't manufacture products that contain asbestos. The company hasn't for decades. Safer alternatives are used in place of asbestos for dental work. Crowns are made of ceramic and more modern polymers, and casting ring liners are often made of cellulose, which burn up harmlessly in the melting of the wax and the baking of the crown mold. But be aware, there are some vintage items available for purchase on sites like eBay. I should know, I collect this stuff. But these products are dangerous, and in general, people should probably be wary of a lot of dental products still up for sale. Remember, some overseas products that still contain asbestos are making their way into the US despite regulatory efforts. This means consumers who regularly purchase products from other countries could be unintentionally putting themselves at risk for ingesting asbestos. Go to a dentist you trust, and don't forget to floss. Thanks for watching Asbestos Artifacts. Check out our other episodes and be sure to like this one and subscribe for more content. If there's a product you'd like to see, drop us a line below. I'm asbestos attorney Justinian Lane. See you next time on Asbestos Artifacts.